Let's talk about a common and costly mistake made by teaching assistants when they resign at the end of the academic year. Putting the last day of the summer holiday as their leaving date, and then being shocked when their final pay is way less than usual, or worse, they end up owing money. If you're wondering when to hand in your notice or what the last working day should be to make sure you're still paid properly over the school holidays, this video is for you. Now, I want to say I am not a payroll specialist and I have researched this. So I've got this video to the point where I feel I'm giving you good advice. I was caught out by this and I ended up owing about £300. So watch the video and take the advice on it, please. First things first, before you do anything else, talk to your payroll officer. The payroll officer understands all of this. I know it's tempting to rely on Facebook advice, but school contracts vary widely, so there's no single rule that works for everyone. Your pay structure will depend on your contract type, so term time only, do you work 39 weeks or 44 weeks, your start date, when your annual leave year resets. I'll say that again, when your annual leave year resets. That might be April, September, or January. And your school or local authorities' holiday accrual policies. So please use this video to understand the risks and the right questions to ask. And always double check your facts with your school's payroll or HR. Now, why you are not paid for the holidays, even though it feels like you are. Here's the big myth. If I put the 31st of August as my last day, I'll get paid for the summer. The problem is you cannot be certain of that. Most TAs are not paid for school holidays. Instead, you're paid for the hours you work during term time, plus any accrued holiday you've earned during that time. And your pay is annualised, which means your term time hours and holiday pay are spread evenly over 12 months. So it feels like you're being paid over the holidays. But when you leave, that balance gets recalculated. So when should your last day of work be? Let's break this down in simple steps. Step 1, check your notice period. Most TA contracts ask for 4 weeks, some ask for 6 weeks notice. Make sure you check your contract and give enough time. 2, find out when your annual leave year starts. For many schools, it's April to March, but some run September to August, January to December, or use your start date. If your leave year starts in April and you resign in July, you've only accrued a few months' worth of holiday pay, not enough to cover a full summer. Step 3, understand what happens if you work until July and you put the 31st of August as your last working day. If your holiday year resets in April, you won't have earned enough paid leave to cover the summer holidays. So while your contract end date might say the 31st of August, your actual working and paid entitlement may still stop in July. That's why some TAs have said, I left in August, but my final wage was much lower than I expected, because they stopped working in July and hadn't accrued enough holiday to get full summer pay. So should you even put the 31st of August as your leaving date if you're leaving in July? Only if you've checked and you have enough accrued holiday to cover the entire summer break after your last working day, or you are actually working into the summer, like through holiday provision or additional duties. Putting the 31st of August without checking could leave you short. This is because when you leave, payroll does a recalculation to check what you are actually entitled to up until your leaving date. If you've been overpaid, i.e., received more holiday pay than you've earned, they are legally allowed to reclaim that money from your final wage. In some cases, if your final wage isn't enough to cover the overpayment, you may even be asked to repay the difference. This happened to me when I left a school at Easter time in 2012. I ended up owing around £300, which was a bit of a shock. And that brings me on to, what if your leaving date is another time of year? So if you're leaving at Easter, if your annual leave year started in April, you've only just started earning this year's holiday. So don't expect a full pay packet in April unless you've carried some holiday over, which is very, very unlikely if you're a straightforward teaching assistant. Leaving at Christmas. Again, if your annual leave year started in April, you've earned around 2/3 of your annual leave, so you might get a reasonably normal final wage if you finish in December. But again, always, always, always check. So a quick recap. You're not paid for holidays, you're paid for accrued holiday spread over the year. Never assume you'll get full pay in August just because you put the 31st of August as your last working day. Always check when your leave year starts and how much holiday you've earned so far. Speak to payroll before you hand in your notice. Every school is different. TAs are some of the most hard-working people in education, and it's heartbreaking when one small mistake leaves you possibly hundreds of pounds short in your final wage. So if you're planning to move on, do it wisely. Speak to payroll, plan your notice period properly, and make sure your final pay reflects the work you've done, not what someone guessed in a Facebook comment. Now, if this video helped you feel clearer about handing in your notice, let me know in the comments, and subscribe to my channel for more real TA advice that gives you the answers to all your TA questions. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in my next video.